I'm Josefa, and I'm here with my roommate for an interview for the SRL.
Hello, my name is Safwan Asif, and I'm a junior here at the U of A.
So we're gonna get into the interview straight up, and I'm gonna ask Safan the questions, and then he's gonna give some answers. So for the first question, what is your daily and weekly schedule typically like?
Honestly, it kind of depends on some days. Basically, on days like Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I have my main classes, my sleep schedule is me waking up at around 8 a.m. for my 8:30 class, and then after that class gets over at 9:45, I have two other classes at noon. And then after those classes, I have another gen ed that goes on till 6. So my schedule is pretty packed for these days. But other than that, like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I saw that packed. All I do is just like go to work and then like come back.
Okay, sounds good. So approximately how many hours per week do you say you spend at work or school?
Um, I would say somewhere around 30 to 40 hours a week, like both work and school included.
All right, cool. And then so about how many hours per week do you take, like, spend taking care of other obligations, like something outside of school, like maybe like homework or some other errands or something? Housework, sorry, not homework.
I would say around perhaps maybe 5 to 6 hours a week in doing like housework, like chores, laundry, and all of that stuff.
And how many hours do you think you usually have for leisure, in a day or during the week, and like maybe on the weekends?
During the week itself, I don't have a lot of time in like going out and stuff because it's pretty packed. I have work and my studies going on during the week. But like days like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I usually hang out with my friends. Go to bars, um, party and stuff. So I guess I'd say about 6 hours in leisure time a week.
All right, that sounds good. Moving on, when and how much and how often do you typically have extended time off from work or something like vacations, basically?
Well, if you talk about it generally, we have the winter vacation and then we also have the summer vacation that comes around. But then it also kind of depends if I'm calling out from work some days or if I'm not, or if I'm taking a leave. Uh, um, I don't usually often do that though. Like maybe I'd call out once a month or once in like every 2 or 3 weeks.
Cool. So moving on, do you feel like you have enough time for leisure? Why or why not? Do you think that?
I think 6 hours of leisure time is enough in a week. I mean, like, obviously, like I can't like calculate the entire thing, but even during the week, you get some free time. You take like 30-minute breaks from studying or from household chores, or like especially when you're going to bed and then like you're just on your phone for like 30 minutes. So all of that kind of adds up, and I would say 6 hours is kind of fine.
All right, that sounds good. So since you mentioned using social media and stuff, so how much do you spend on social media or like web surfing for a normal day?
I mean, I would say on social media, I would say I would spend around 4 to 5 hours a day, which kind of seems like a lot, but that's just me like opening up social media, going through reels and stuff, like when I take my 30 minutes break. Or like just normally if I'm doing work, if I get a bit bored, I'll just open up my phone, like just go through some reels.
Okay, cool. So since we talked about social media, so maybe switching to like watching shows or movies. So how much time do you spend watching TV shows or movies in a day?
Honestly, right now I'm not watching any shows or movies, so I don't really spend time unless my friends have the TV switched on. So I'll just like have a look for 5 to 10 minutes. If it's interesting, I'll sit with them, but other than that, no, not often.
Okay, cool. So how would you say you typically spend your leisure time during the week? And then like what do you do in your free leisure time basically?
Well, most of it's just me being on social media, scrolling through reels. But other than that, I mean, if my friends find some free time and I have free time, we go up to the rec, play some soccer or like some American football. But I would also like, if I have some free time, I'd like go through some extra work. I mean, that's what I usually do during my leisure time. Like just finish off some more work. Um, and play some video games as well. Of course, like play some FIFA with friends and stuff like that. So that's about it.
All right, that sounds good. Furthermore, so you mentioned like being with yourself and with your friends, and I know you go back home during the vacations, so you're with your family as well. So, like, what are some leisure activities you have that you enjoy doing by yourself, with your friends, and with your family? And I understand it's kind of like a overlap in a question, so you could be short about it.
I mean, to like just summarize and like give a vague answer, I just say like hang out with them most of the time. Like any free time I find, I'll be with my friends. Or like if I'm going back home during the winter or summer, I'll make sure I get in as much time with my family as possible. Because at the end of the day, you gotta come back to uni to study and stuff. So I guess yeah, that's about it.
All right. So what places or where do you like to go in your leisure time if you're going out?
Well, if I'm going out, I'm typically more of a big city person. So yeah, back home, I would go out with my friends to, uh, like, basically, I'm from Dubai, so me and my friends would basically like go out, go eat at different places, try some food, do some activities around Dubai, go to the beach and stuff like that. And over here, I mean, I do if I were to go out, I try to make sure it's like kind of like a special occasion. Like if I'm going to the football game, I'd make sure I'm there, or like going to the bars on Boulevard and stuff like that.
All right, that sounds super cool. What are some good places or like your favorite places you've traveled to, basically?
Well, my home city, Dubai, is one of my favorite places, and honestly, I don't think any other place comes close to Dubai. But that's also because of my lack of travel to other countries. I've only visited Pakistan and the US in my entire life. So, judging from that, I'd say Dubai is the best place. But I also like greenery and stuff, like natural beauty. So, Pakistan's a great place for that. And, like, obviously, the Western culture.
All right, super cool. Switching back to like books and movies and TV shows. So, what are some of your favorites in music, books, TVs, or movies, etc.? Like, which ones do you prefer? Which ones do you don't?
Well, if it comes to books, The Alchemist is my favorite book. It's by Paulo Coelho. It's a really good book. And as per shows go, I mean, there's not like a particular genre I like. It's not like I have a favorite movie. It's just like I have a few shows I like Friends, or like Stranger Things, or like Peaky Blinders.
All right, super cool. You mentioned going out and trying different types of food. So, what are some of your favorite kinds of food, especially like if you're in leisure time and you don't want to rush? So, what are some of your go-to foods?
Well, if I'm going out, uh, I try to make sure I eat more of like desi food. Desi food is basically the Indian and Pakistani food, like biryani and stuff like that. Because I think, like personally, in my opinion, I think that's the best food ever. But then other than that, I try some Middle East cuisine, or like even Mexican food. So it kind of ranges from there.
Okay, super cool. Um, okay, so what is the most amazing or unique leisure activity you've ever done, or maybe you're doing now or planning to do?
Well, hopefully, when I have a lot of money, I'll hope to like. Well, one of my goals is to like travel look at all seven wonders of the world, and that's something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, in a few years' time. But other than that, normal activities that I like are like amusement parks, or like going to the cinema and like basically partying with my friends.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, is there like any specific one that you specifically remember or something?
Oh, wow. Well, there was this one time I had sleepover with my friends in Dubai. That was a pretty good time. We also went to the water park in Dubai, one of the biggest in the world. No, it's called Wild Wadi, and I think that's the biggest one I've done.
All right, super cool. Are there any ways that you feel like you waste your leisure time and you could spend it differently? And if it is, then why do you think so?
Well, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I do waste a lot of time because my leisure time during the week is just me mostly scrolling through social media and sometimes even on the weekends. And so I'd like to have some of that time back, like do something else, do something creative, like read a book or pick up a skill or a hobby.
All right, super cool. Moving forwards, so obviously you've told me how your leisure time looks right now and what activities you do, but how do you compare it to a different point in your life, like maybe like your childhood, like what is different that you do now that you didn't do in your childhood, or you did in your childhood that you don't do now?
I mean, during my childhood, it'd be mostly like just running around, doing stupid stuff that a kid does. Well, I think now the difference is that we've all grown up and I guess we've all matured in a way that now that like we find some of those childhood things a bit annoying, I guess, like, and like we don't usually act on them and we just do like grown up stuff. So that's like one of the biggest differences.
All right, super cool. So like kind of like you've outgrown your childhood self, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Um, yeah, how would you say COVID-19 has impacted your leisure time and activities?
I mean, COVID-19 for me personally was a really good time because honestly, I got to stay at home, not go to school. Um, but I would say I had a lot of free time during COVID. Like we'd all, like my entire family would just be at home because we would have curfew, and the only time we could go out was during the day, and Dubai kind of gets very hot during the day. So I guess I had a lot of time during COVID, and most of it was just spent playing games on my computer, like talking with friends on the phone.
Yeah, so yeah, kind of like heightened activities, right? Yeah. So how much do you value leisure and like how does it compare to work? Like what's the balance there? What's the dynamic like? So just just some thoughts on that.
I would say that like leisure time and work should be like balanced out in a way that feels like you're enjoying both of those things. Like when you go into work, you're enjoying work, and then when you're going out with friends or you have that time to yourself, you're enjoying that as well. And basically, I feel like you should not like give attention to one thing more than the other. Basically, you should like balance it out.
Okay. Cool. Moving on. What would you say leisure plays an important role in your personal identity? And yeah, so like people they label themselves as like artists, people that love art, or like a runner, some people that like to run. So do you think that your leisure plays an important part in on like defining your identity?
I mean, honestly, not in a way that most people think. I would say leisure time depends. Like if I'm picking up a book or if I'm going through social media, then of course I'm like growing in a way that I'm retaining information from social media or from a book. Or like if I'm playing sports with my friends, then obviously I'm gaining more physical strength. My stamina increases. You know. So it all kind of like depends on what type of leisure time you have, like what you're doing in that leisure time.
All right, cool. So from what I understood, it's like very subjective. Yeah. All right, super cool. Moving forward, so why do you think you have the leisure preferences do you do, like going out with your friends or just staying in playing some video games? So why do you think you have those leisure preferences or habits rather?
I mean, I would say it's kind of built up from childhood, like at least the very common aspects like going out or like talking with friends. I mean, even when you're a child, you do the same thing, like go out with
Yeah.
your friends or play games with them or like talk to other people. So I guess aspects like those like come naturally when you grow up, and then obviously there's some other stuff that you yourself choose to pick up. You know, like any skill you want to pick up, like coding or like playing soccer or getting good at American football. So like all kind of is subjective.
All right. Yeah. So last question about leisure. So since you were talking about a lot of it, and I'm sure you were reflecting as well. So how do you think that made you feel like about your leisure time and activities? Like just some general reflection.
I mean, I'm not really mad with my leisure time. Like I get my leisure time and whatever I do with it is at the end of the day my choice, right? So obviously I'm enjoying whatever I do in my leisure time. If it's like scrolling through social media, it's by choice. So obviously I'm enjoying that. Or like playing sports or picking up a book. So at the end of the day I would say I'm not really like uh inclined to I'm inclined to doing new stuff, obviously, but I'm fine with my current leisure time.
Cool. Okay, so this section is just some demographic questions. If you feel uncomfortable answering them, just say so, and we're gonna skip to the next one. Like you just say, I don't feel comfortable sharing it, and we just move on to the next one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, super cool. The first one is, what do you do for work, and like, what do you do for study?
Well, I'm a comp sci major, and as I said, I'm a junior now, and I work at 85 North, up in the North District over there. Uh, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, cool. Just to specify, like North District of the university. Yeah. So, in what city and state do you live?
Well, back home it's Dubai. There's not really a state; they're all just like cities, cause the United Arab Emirates is a small country itself. And over here, obviously, it's Tucson.
All right, cool. Where were you born?
I was born in Pakistan.
All right, cool. What's your age?
I'm currently 20 years old.
Cool. What gender do you identify with, or genders?
I'm a male.
Cool. What's your racial or ethnic group that you identify with?
South Asian.
Cool. What is your sexual orientation?
I'm straight.
Who else lives with you in your current household?
Well, it's the interviewer itself, Josefa. He lives with me, and I have another roommate who also lives with me. So it's like three of us in total.
Cool. Do you have any children, and if so, of what age?
Oh no, no children.
Cool. What is your religious affiliation, and how often do you attend religious ceremonies or services?
I'm a Muslim, and in terms of attending religious sermons and stuff, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle of it. I sometimes do and sometimes don't.
Cool. What is the highest degree or level of education that you have completed?
Well, I'm currently in my undergraduate program, so I would say a high school diploma is the highest thing that I've gotten so far.
All right, cool. What languages are you capable of speaking fluently?
Well, English, and my mother tongue, which is Sindhi, and Urdu.
All right, cool. He's fluent in a lot of languages. Um, can you share of any disabilities if you have any?
No, no disabilities.
Cool. How would you, and very briefly, if you could, like, describe your political views? Like, are they conservative, moderate, or liberal?
I have no like political standing right now.
All right, that's completely fine. Um, okay, so approximately, what's your annual combined household income?
I mean, my income itself, if I'm working the maximum hours, I work at 85. I would say it's around 12,000 to $15,000 a year. And then obviously, if my dad sends me some money, it can go up to like 20,000 a year.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Safan. It was a pleasure interviewing you. All right,
Thank you.
I will see you guys later.